My necklace? I changed it. I got it from Essential Treasures right here in the bag. Many of you have complimented me on it already. And then I'll be wearing some other pieces when I come. I do come back up once more. And then I'll wear some other pieces as well. So I got it. So with that said, I'm going to introduce you all to Nikisha Dennis. She is just the pillar, I don't know what to say about Nikisha Dennis, but she is the moderator for the male panel, and she will definitely electrify you with her personality. She is blunt, she is bold, she is courageous, and not to mention she's also a U.S. Army soldier. Amen. But she is tough. Let me tell you, if you want to know about any workout plans, she's definitely one of the people that you can talk to. So with that said, Nikisha Dennis is going to come up and she's going to present to you the male panel. And get ready. Come on, Keisha. Hello, ladies. How are you? Good afternoon. Great afternoon to you all. I am so happy to see you here. All of your beautiful faces. Please excuse my voice. All of the wonderful women that you saw previously made me cry off this whole side of my makeup. We won't get ready. I have the pleasure this evening to be a part of this wonderful, wonderful conference. From the time that Penether and Erica and Zainab told me about their vision to have this, anything that I could do to be on board, any way I could help was a pleasure and an honor for me. Penether is my Bianca is my best friend in the whole world. You hear everybody say, "Oh, you're BFF." No, she gonna be buried right beside me. She don't know yet. I already got the plots together. We gonna rise from the grave. We gonna come through, scare some people in the afterlife. We gonna have a good time. But I am here today as your moderator for the male panelist portion, the last section. Thank you. Of today's conference. So I'm going to introduce to you the panelists. The first one I'm going to introduce is the extraordinary gentleman, Mr. Rich Aquo. This gentleman is the owner and CEO, and if I get it correct, the Chief Encouraging Officer of the All Is Well company, as well as the New Vision Cleaning Company, one of the leading cleaning companies here in Baltimore City. So if you could, please give them a round of applause. His most important title, though, and I tell him this frequently, is he is the husband of the beautiful, extraordinary Miss Erica Aquo. Young lady you heard from earlier. As long as you know. The next gentleman is Mr. Reginald Gans. This is a talented young man. He is also the owner and CEO of his own company, RG Resume Writing, as well as an HR specialist for the federal government, Mr. Reginald Gans. It's great to see you present. All right, next up we have an energetic gentleman that I had the pleasure of meeting a few years ago in a business encounter. Wonderful person, wonderful personality. He is the radio personality who talks about real life issues on love and relationships, Mr. Michael Martin. of a book I had the pleasure of indulging in this week called Ouch, This May Hurt.
Oh.
Ladies, you may have heard of Steve Harvey. You may have heard of all of these other men who vow that they know what it is a man is thinking. This gentleman here has dared to step out the box to avoid the cookie cutter and keep it raw and real. Please believe in his book, Mr. David Marcus.
Is it
I'm talking about it's at rehearsal, like, it's a woman's event. We just giving y'all a little slice of the pie. But again, if you could please give these wonderful gentlemen a round of applause. On, this is your opportunity, ladies, to ask these gentlemen whatever it is you have in mind. Now, just to start things off a little bit. Like I said, I got a chance to read a book this week. And I'm not gonna go into depth, but I'm gonna give you the name of one of the chapters. And I'll allow Mr. Marcus to start us off. The name of the chapter was Shh, Listen and He Will Tell You. What he got to tell us, Mr. Marcus? What he got to tell us?
Let him know, Marcus. Let him know. I got y'all back.
How did he get in?
Oh, that's why you roll so over there. Hi.
I'm gonna tell you what that chapter's about. But I want to say to the ladies here that put this together and the speakers, y'all almost had me in tears. I'm dead serious, and because I can relate to when God puts something in your heart for you to do, and sometimes it just won't make sense. Like what I'm doing, like I had a friend of mine tell me, well, you don't have a degree, and you might sell 20 books. I sold almost 800 books with no promotion other than word of mouth. I didn't even step completely out the box yet. It's Facebook promotion. Bianca found me, and the fact that I'm here today, just let me know it's all working. I'm taking all the opportunities I had, just a year and a half time, the interviews I've done, just being me. No credentials, everything, just feeling I had a message. And the women seem to be receiving it.
That's right.
And I definitely stepped out the box, as you know, because I say I tried to bring the barbershop to the beauty salon. Like, the other shows and Think Like a Man, Ugly Truth, they were still politically correct because they wanted to sell. I didn't think about selling. I drank vodka some nights, pregnant. I mean, because I want everything that I would actually say. I didn't want to think about who would be offended. I wanted it to just be real.
Yes.
And I'm that guy that women always call and say, just tell me like it is, and I will tell them. The shh he'll tell you is, I wrote that chapter because a lot of times women put words in men's mouth. They can talk to that girlfriend and say, no, what he meant. He normally means exactly what he says. When and he says, I'm not looking for a relationship, he's not looking for a relationship. It's not like and I wrote in a book, and I was very explicit, and I was calculated, because I wanted you to know. I said, there's nothing you can do to say I'm gonna put it on him that does not. If he is not looking for it, and that's where he's at, you can't change. Listen to him. He's telling you that for a reason. And anything he tells you, just take his word for it, because most of the time, 9 times out of 10, that's exactly how I feel. It's not anything deeper. I know sometimes women like, well, because with my wife, I said in the book, but she hated it. But I tell her one that just is one part. She might say something to me, but it means something different. And I always tell her that might be how women operate. I mean exactly what I say. It's not anything. So that's what that chapter is about. And it's
Amen.
All right. Now, I'm sorry. I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. In the military, in the Army, we have a phrase called Frago, right? Which means we're gonna have a brief change, a little switch up in the program, okay? Originally, we had these 4 gentlemen listed as our panelists for today. I'd like to invite somebody that I personally go to for my male advice, who is as raw as Mr. Marcus here. I don't know him too personally, but Mr. Jamal Crosby, could you come on up for us, please? Now, if you ask any of the women in here that know me, Nikisha can be very stubborn. I asked for advice, but I don't really take it. I just want to know what you had to say. I'm gonna do what I want to do anyway. This gentleman here, he be like, no, you should see, that's your problem. I'd be like, Dad, Jamal, what I do now? Tell me. What you want me to do now? So the topic, listen and he'll tell you. We actually had a conversation, him, I, and Bianca, in I believe a Walmart parking lot one night, for a few hours. And he gave me some advice about a little situation I had. And same thing, someone had said something to me, and I'm like, no, that can't be what it really means, because, I just know that that's not what you really mean. You mean something else. So if Mr. Crosby can enlighten us a little more on that topic, and we'll pass it down the line.
Wow, I think he basically said it. When a man tells you what he means, that's what he means. So if you hear that, oh, well, I heard him say, I don't want kids, but in your mind, you internalize it, he don't want kids right now. That's not what he said. So
What if he always playing with my kids, though?
if he always playing with your kids, that means he like other people's kids. Child support check might not have his name on it. His things go down. But he like your kids, and he know them kids might not have a daddy and need somebody to play daddy. But they not his kids.
Yeah, that's not really too much more that you can elaborate. I believe in being crystal clear at all times. When you're always honest, when you're always transparent, that does not allow for mistakes and confusion to come back later on in life. But what I do want to do quickly, this is totally unscripted. In keeping with the theme of step out of the box, I will share a quick story. This time last year, I was actually engaged. I was about to buy a home. I was on top of the world, so I thought business was going good, church, friends, family, everything. Fiance decided blindly that was not what she wanted. And everything came crashing down. Everything that I thought that I was building fell apart. She was unemployed for about a year, took care of her, paid her bills, I paid my bills, we never missed meals.
Stay tuned for speed dating at the end.
I said all that to say that this time last year, I was really low. I asked God why, I was depressed. I cried myself to sleep many nights. I did not know what was going on. I thought that I was doing everything right. And I told myself I was going to take time off to get myself together, because one thing that I did not want to do was put down everybody that came along after her. So I did. And December 31st, 2012, I told the Lord that I was not going to go into the new year with that baggage, and I was going to wait for somebody to come along. And fast forward till present, I have been dating somebody. She is a phenomenal woman. She's a game changer. And I actually just wanted to put her on the spot because she is in the room right now. I would like for her to stand up and acknowledge herself.
That's right.
When a man knows what he wants, he's gonna play it. Listen, and he'll tell you. Right, Mr. Marcus?
All right.
So we are stepping out the box. Wow. So first off, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers in the room. Thank you all so much for coming out and stepping out of your own box, whatever that box is. And for the ladies that organized this event, phenomenal job. This is just the first of many that God has ordained for you. So we're definitely all here to support you as well as learn from you. But in relation to your question about, that's what it really means? Oh, that's what it's, what was that? Yes, just to tell you. You cannot force a man, you can't force a man to lie to you as to what you want to hear.
Yes.
Because sometimes once a man says, this is what I mean, as the brothers said previously, you hear something else. And you go back to him asking him, is this what you really mean? And at times it really gets to a point where you really want him to lie, to tell you what you want to hear so you can feel better. So it's best to understand what he is telling you at that moment so there is no confusion. Because once communication is not understood, that's when problems arise. So I'll just say, what he tells you, that's what he means.
I concur. Brother Marcus, you had said, shh, listen, he tell you, right? Smooth. So two things. So two things. First, I'm sorry, can I tell him the truth one time? Yeah. Just one time, can I tell him the truth? So, men are not calculated enough to come up with something that's not real just because we think we want to hear it. We're just not smart enough. Sorry. That's first. Second is that whole listen part. I don't know that, well, I ain't never lied no time in my life. I don't know that women are so much interested in listening. I think sometimes you might already have the agenda that you want in your mind, so while we're talking, the only time you actually hear us is when we're only saying what you want to hear.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
I didn't hear you. Say it again. Come
I say, you got what you want me to say in your head. So you only hear me if what I say is in line with what you already had on your brain that you was fishing for.
Okay, so I can just throw the rest out. Okay.
Take what we say, put yours inside. And then you might get what's actually going on.
Mine, yours.
You can just put yours in the box. You can play with it later. It's still there. But you know, take what we say. You might get what's actually going on.
Y'all getting that later?
Get it to me?
Yeah.
Ouch, this might hurt.
All right. So, first question up. Why is it so hard and takes so long for a man to commit?
Wow.
Who want it?
Wow.
Nobody wants it.
No takes? It's the commitment.
Alright. Why does it take so long and why is it so hard? I think it's all shaped on the individual's life experiences. In my opinion, you have to be where God wants you to be at that exact time to get what is exactly it is for you. If you want to play the field and you come across somebody that wants to settle down, that's not a match. You know, she's going to try to force everything she can to force on you to put you in her settle down box, but you want to run around that box. And she might allow you to play sometimes. You know, she'll extend it, she'll prolong it. It might start out dating, it might go 2, 3, 5 years from now. You're still running around in the same circle. It depends on where that man is at his particular point in life. And when he's ready to finally settle down, and he feels that he found the one worth settling down for, that is the only point that I feel that he'll actually settle down.
Woo.
I just go in between. Very correct, brother. But I think more so, and I always use this analogy when people ask me about my wife and I. When you come into a relationship of any sort, both individuals have to have the end in mind. And for my wife, when she came and met me where I was, she had her end in mind. And I had my end in mind, and those matched in terms of our aspirations, our dreams, family, finances, all of that stuff. So when you have an unbalance in a relationship where one person is thinking one way and the other person is thinking another way, it's hard at times, especially when the pressure is on the man. He's like, well, this is not really what I want. He might not tell you that initially, and the prolonged dating at times is just more so, I'm not comfortable in this. And if a person is not comfortable in a relationship, in a situation, that only leads to hurt if you try to force it, if you try to force that relationship. And you know what? It's okay. If you invested years, it's okay to walk away from it and not continually try to turn this man to see you how you want him to see you, or force him into making that commitment, because he can make that commitment and not really mean it. And guess what? Something is bound to happen down the line where you no longer become priority. And, you know, football analogy or sports, you know, you're not the starter, you're a bench warmer. And you can come off the bench. I'll stop saying that.
Big and little cuz, all within 2 weeks of knowing this stuff. It don't take long. We know when it's going to happen. It's either going to happen or not.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Why
Y'all supposed to be so honest.
Right.
Why did you keep on going for 3 years? Like she called you, hey, wanna go out? Why? Real hard. I just got out of that, okay? I just got
Keep it real.
There you go.
You get sir. It's my question, Pepe. I was young, dumb, and you know the rest. Not really sure on what I wanted, clueless. And I don't even know if I pretended to have a clue at the point, but I just knew what wasn't going to happen. I didn't know what I wanted, but I knew what I didn't want. So, we got a lot of voices. We got a lot of voices. I'll take any question, but I need one at a time.
Let's pass it to Mr. Marcus and let him jump in there real quick.
Okay. That's a very complex question. It's not a cut and dry answer, because a major part of it is timing. A major part of it is timing, and like I said, I wrote this book from an alpha male perspective. And the more, I'm just telling you like this, until a man, it's somewhere, I don't know, I'm not a good scripture quoter, it's somewhere in Ephesians or Ecclesiastes. Men are beast-like. until the dog get in there, like I'm telling you.
That's right.
And other than that, it's really, the more options, the harder it is. That's what I said, the more quality options, the harder. If, like I told somebody, I used an analogy one time, I said, okay, if you have Beyonce, Halle Berry, Selma Hayek, I'm saying, and all of them want a commitment, but all of them allow you to sleep with them, why commit? There's no standard. The women, like I say, I was just heard movement. The women need to start a movement and not giving it away.
That's right.
The fact that I could kind of sleep who I wanted to, when I wanted to, and not show up wrong, like, this is probably the most demands I ever got without. But it wasn't verbally, it was how she treated me.
That's right.
She treated me so good, I couldn't deny it, and I had to. So I'm telling you, that's so I would say, if you giving it all and he not acting right, I'm not big on ultimatums, but cut it off. Don't keep giving it away freely, because it could be you and it could be others too. That's just plain. That's the harsh reality of it.
Amen. Feel it like
Like it is, all right. Any other questions in the audience? I heard quite a few shuffling. All right, Miss Kamara, what you got?
My question is, as men, I know sometimes with conversations with other women, some women have an issue where they don't want to date a man who they make more money than them. And I've also heard men are sometimes intimidated by women who make more money than them. What would you say to this if you were in that position?
All right, thank good now. Thank you.
I'll be honest. I have not dated anyone who's made anywhere near what I make, but I extremely welcome a woman who can exceed my income. The federal government pays very well. You know, I don't look how low. I don't care if you make $20,000. You know, what's in your heart? Where are you going? What are you doing with the $20,000? If you come in, you making 120. That's even better. But how are you handling the 120? That's right. Are you demeaning it? Am I gonna feel like a man with your 120 and I'm making less than 120? You know, how are you handling the situation is really all that matters with a man. It does not matter which side of the fence you fall on. It really matters on how you take care of your business.
And to add to that, there's a platform that God has ordained. And for me, when it comes to financial affairs in a relationship, you know, there is no 50-50. And I think a lot of people have a 50-50 mentality, where this is my 50, this is your 50. And if my wife supposedly made $200,000, that's our money. And that's how we carry it now. Our businesses, our nonprofit, whatever we do, is 100% combined. So you have relationships where the man starting off might be okay, but as mentioned, if you reverse that role that God put in place, as so he's still the leader, and like my pastor said, women break out and hide when they say you're supposed to submit to him. I'm just saying. That's the thing about, you know, God's order, where even if your wife makes more money, she still has to bring it to you. Bring it to the man and say, what should we do with this? How does God want us to move? And those are the relationships that prosper. Those are the relationships that God elevates. If you bring God into it, if you allow God to be the manager of the finances and not self, or man, or the flesh, and allow the spirit to guide it,
That's the key.
then there is no problem.
Yes.
That's it.
Oh, please, on that last question. Oh, Lord. What I say about that is when it comes to the finances, I've asked this question to several married people, already married, older people. I'll give a short story. I've got some friends that are pretty well off. And what has happened is become, because of the times, there's been a change in the household who makes money. And dude of all dudes, he's a real man's man. He believes the man should make more money. You know, his business have always made more money. And they've always shared the money, but mainly he allowed her to do whatever she wanted to do with her salary. Everybody knows the economy has changed a lot. And his business makes way less than what she makes salary by herself. And it's been a true struggle for them. But what we have to realize is that as real men, a real man may have an issue with it in the beginning, but after a while, when with maturity comes the fact that you realize this is, like he said, this is us. We're a unit. We're a cohesive unit. And if you are truly going to allow me to lead this household, it should not matter that you make more money than I make. If I'm handling my business and doing what I'm supposed to do as a man, then we should be good.
That's right.
Anyone want to add to that? Oh, we have a question. Miss Godchild, I'm coming. Give me a second now.
Hello. Hi, gentlemen. Well, I just wanted to piggyback on what Ms. Kamara was saying, and obviously what you guys had emphasized on as far as the woman making more money and this and that. But you said something about submit, and I would like to know, what is your definition of woman submitting? Because I think that's where things get confused. And a lot of relationships, you can jump in. We can go back and All right, so what is your understanding as, I mean, everybody has their own understanding of things, but as men, what's your general understanding of women submitting to men? Because some men, I think, may take that a little bit too far, and some women too might take it a little bit too far with them having low self-esteem or low confidence levels or what have you. So just a little input on what your opinion. What's submit? What is submit to you?
Who wants to take this?
The pastor might want to say something.
Pastor want to say something first.
I don't know, because I still don't know who let him in. It was only supposed to be 4 y'all.
Mr. Robinson.
If you could please introduce yourself, sir.
He's smart.
I'm Pastor Brown from Soul Purpose Vision. First of all, before I even answer this question, ladies, this is wonderful. I came all the way from New Jersey, and this is awesome. It's the first women's conference I've been in that was put together this way. This is very unique. Y'all did an excellent job, Ms. Bianca and Ms. Solid Boo. I know y'all. But anyway, the Bible talks about submitting, women submitting, but it also says in Ephesians chapter 5. In chapter 5, it talks about submitting to one another. Submitting doesn't mean dictating. Submitting means loving. So a man, the Bible says that Jesus says actually for us to love our wives as Christ has loved the church. So if I love my wife, that means I'm going to submit and listen to her. But the problem is sometimes women, we spoke earlier in the chapter with Brother Marcus over there. Get the book, everyone. Get the book. Women have a hard time to listen to the men or submit or subject themselves to take the back seat. To sit back and just listen and relax and say, okay, God, I'm going to trust your word and follow the divine order. Okay, I'm in a position now. I'm like my brother here, Reggie. When I met my wife, I went through a serious breakup out of nowhere. I brought the house, I had everything, and I just thought I made it, and I got hurt on the job, and the woman left me high and dry. So I honestly, my mindset was like, I'm just done. I wasn't done with women, but I was just like, I'm not ever settling down ever again. But God had brought this woman in my life. Now I've been hurt for 8 years. And I'm used to being the breadwinner making X amount of dollars. But now here's a woman who comes in who's superseding me, but never put it over my head.
All right.
But always said, you know, even though we coming into this relationship, and I know God, I'm a trust God, we have our goals that we are lining up, and our money, her money is my money, and my money is her money. And that is kind of hard for women. Y'all looking at me strange now. I didn't even ask for an offering. Y'all looking at me strange. Y'all got quiet. I know it's tight, but it's right. However, it's hard at times I know to say here, as a man, we want to be breadwinners. We want to take care. We want to nourish. We want to be the heroes. We want to stand up. But sometimes, if the woman makes the money, we have to be mature about it and say, okay, fine. And God will raise you up. He will put the divine order back in place. Because in the same way I stopped making money, here come another business, a venture that came, and now I'm back on top. But I was never felt like I was loved in the first place. I was always treated like the king that I am.
Right.
Pass it around, everybody. Pass it around. Pass it around from New Jersey. We got another question, but before I get your question, I'm sorry. Just a little bit of elaboration on the last question for the young lady. What do you consider submission?
I think in all aspects, that word is taken out of context when people truly do not understand. Submission in the sense, as Pastor mentioned, one of the things he said was love. But at the same time, from a man's standpoint, is that respect. Simple as that. Respect. Are you going to respect me as the man in this relationship and trust? See, I try to take things from a spiritual perspective. As to if God has, and I don't hold it over my wife and say, oh, I'm the leader, because we both are leaders in our own rights. She's the leader of the house, and as a man's mandate, I'm out there hustling to make it happen for us out there. So, when we talk about submitting, it's a two-way street. How can we respect one another? Because it's not just called for a woman to submit to a man. It's husbands, submit to your wives. Also, boyfriends, fiancés, whatever it is, respect that person that you're with. Edify them. For women, they want you to acknowledge them, that their voice counts. So as men, we have to give them their platform so they can speak. But at the same time, as a man, I have a voice too. And it's not about my voice trumping over yours. It's simply, how are we going to make this work? How are we going to make this work? I am not, and yeah, there are some brothers out there that take it too far. Let's be correct about that. Amen. There are some brothers out there that take it too far, and it's one of those things where you really have to know what kind of relationship you're in. Identify that, and if it is a problem, then maybe that's not a relationship. But you always have to know, respect goes both ways, love goes both ways, building up of each other goes both ways, trust goes both ways, and you got to bring it to the relationship.
Way a woman can encourage a man who is broken, lost, or confused? That's a good question. Who wrote that question? No takers?
I'll take it.
Who wrote it? All right. Good one.
Question was, best way a woman can encourage a man.
What is the best way a woman can encourage a man who is broken, lost, or confused?
Good question, Dominique. Turn around. You always bring him back to the dream he once had. When I was selling water on the street just to make it happen, Erica was there and believed in me and said, you can make it. we can make this happen. When I was getting up work overnight, after working an 8-hour shift and going to go clean houses for another 8 hours and sleeping on it for 4, she brought it back to that dream. Remember, in Christ all is well. You can make it. So you always bring it back to the base.
Yes.
That's why I said you have to know the end. Where are we going in this relationship? And at the same time, a man is to be humble to listen to you. And it could be humiliating that for a man once you've lost that dream, that desire, that passion. Say, this is what I want to do, because the world looks at me as a failure. But when you have that person in your corner, and unfortunately, many men don't have that woman in their corner that will push you and support you and say, I am there for you. And say, look, just because you are cleaning houses, I don't look at you any different. Just because you are selling water in the street, I do not look at you any different. I believe in you because I see past the temporary. She probably saw the bad, but I see past the now. I see past what is going on. Because things are not always the same. And I'm sure for her, she went back to when we first fell in love. Those things always got to be real. Those things always got to be at the forefront of your relationship. And so I'll just say, go back, revisit the dream, remind him of the dream, remind him why he started out on that path, and continue to build him up some. That's all I can say about that.
Anybody else?
1 second.
Do you have to be this guy's woman in order to do that? Can you be his friend, just like the homegirl on the side that encourages him? Did you say every man needs a woman in his life to be able to do that? Well, do you have to be that special woman, or you can just be the homegirl?
You have to define that relationship.
Are you trying to be his girl?
If he has a woman's place, see, then you might be stepping over certain boundaries.
What if he doesn't have that?
If he doesn't, then if he allows you, because some people will make themselves available. Some men will make themselves available for you to come talk to them, for you to be that voice that they need, because we all need those voices that can push us on. They can come from a woman, they can come from a man. As my wife, when I met her, I told her I wasn't gonna get married. I need my 2 German Shepherds because that's the encouragement that I need. If I see him, I'm happy. So it can come from an animal, whatever. But we always need voices or pictures or something that's gonna push us forward. But you have to define that relationship.
Okay, I just have a real quick question because I couldn't correct this up. Okay. The response that we just received, I thought it was great, Rich. Okay. But do you find it's really 2 questions. My first question is, do you find it just as important for your husband or fiance to encourage his wife just as much? That's the first question, okay? And number 2, how should your husband or your fiance support his wife or fiance when she's at a moment where maybe she's stepping out the box or she's at a moment of discouragement?
Strength for her. Because once we understand women are emotional creatures. And a man needs to understand that a woman is an emotional creature. So how do you feed into her emotion? I keep going back to my relationship because that's all I know. Erica stepped out the box today. If you all know Erica, this is out of her comfort zone, but this is what she wanted to do. From her hair, that's stepping out the box. Her mother would tell you, like, we all know it, like her hairstyle changes, but this right here was stepping out the box. What did I do this week? I understand my woman. I understand what she needs. I understand how she needs to be fed for her to thrive. She needs that reassurance. She needs that companionship. And the subtle take sex away, the subtle things, the affection. So what did I start doing all of this week? I simply was sending her text messages. I love you. I love you. I love you. And on Thursday I said, I love you. She said, baby, you made me cry. But I know I was making her, not cry, but that was building her up. So you have to build up that person in whatever capacity. But the only way you can build something up is if you understand how to build it up. We're not gonna get it right all the time, but it's a beautiful thing, in my opinion, when husband and wife, boyfriend and girlfriend, Eric and I, we've been doing this for years, going on 9 years now in terms of just being together. From day one, as I said, we know where we want to go. And for us, it's been easy because we've been, shifting the same gears. See, when you have two people and people are shifting different gears, there's friction. If you don't have that end goal as a couple, as to where we want to get to, if he can't see it for you, it's hard. And sometimes some people just can't see it like you see it. And that's okay. It will be difficult because you want your husband, your boyfriend, whoever it is, to really come alongside you and say, let's do this. But you know what? Some people are just not built like that. They, no matter what you do, no matter how much you force them, it might change, but it might not be at the rate that you wanted, and that's where frustration steps in. So, in terms of a man building up a woman, I just say simply know how your woman needs to be built, how she needs to be fixed, how she needs to be edified. And if you do those things, you can accomplish the goal.
We have to wrap it up. I'm going to take one more question, and we're going to.
Did you want? Sure. I can take my question. I'm scared to ask now. Maybe y'all at the same time.
We talked about female submission and then the male submitting to the wife, and you're not afraid to commit. You just know what you want early on when you meet them, and you're buying houses, you're planning weddings, and you're planning futures, and you got the game changer and the demanding one. So what happens when you get married and then you decide that your wife isn't enough? So now you see a single woman. And I just like to say I'm very offended when a married man approaches me. So I want to know, what happens when you do all of that? You decided all of that is what you want, but then you see her and you're like, my wife is everything I wanted. I knew it 2 weeks. She met my second cousin. She met my pastor. I bought her a house. We're building a business. She sat with me when I drank vodka and wrote my book. That's my wife.
Which chapter is that?
What happened that you were no longer satisfied with all of that, and now me speaking from a single woman's perspective, because I know my worth, I'm not at all interested in a married man. Why are you approaching me? And what is it about me that you thought, in your mind, it was okay for you to even approach me, knowing you are a married man? What happened to all of that?
She really had to get that out of her.
And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I hear all of this cookie-coded stuff about the man knowing the woman he wanted, and he knew this and he bought this. Okay, but for me, and the reason why I'm asking you now is because I talk to my friends, anybody that knows Tanya personally knows that I tell them how offended I am. This married man had the nerve to come and ask me, the nerve of him to look at me and think that I would even be interested. I'm not interested in being your other woman. So what happened? My question is, why are you no longer satisfied with that? Or, for us women here, our sister friends, our good sister friends, what is it that we need to know when we become your wife that you need to have in your life. So you don't need to be looking for the one who is not like me. The one who is very much interested in being with the
Yeah, first I want to say you asked the best question of the day to me because, and I'm promoting again, these are the kind of topics I talk about in the book. The real, after you get the fluff and everybody say what they're supposed to say, what goes on in everyday life. And the first chapter of my book, and this is going to be, you want the truth? I'm going to tell you the truth. The first chapter of my book, and this is terrible, it goes back to when I said the beast-like statement again for men. And unless God is in his life, I say this 100%. I wrote Sex is Not Love for a reason, the first chapter, because I wanted women to know how they're kind of like toys to men until they really get to a point where they value them. That's what it's like. And the woman, kind of the whole book, I talk about, women do fall off, believe it or not. Like you talking about, we're going to talk about the married woman, we're going to keep all the way real. Women do start off Victoria's Secret, this and that, and then go to scarves and slippers every day. So that happens often. A lot of the married men are that bold to where they're looking. Sometimes it happens and finds them. But the ones that are out looking that hard and searching is something missing. A lot of times in that case. Yes, some of us are just terrible. But for the most part, it's something missing, and it's all through these pages right here. Again, I didn't hold no punches. You're going to be like, there's women that call me. I had one who had an interview that was like, what makes you that, and she called me back afterwards and said, I need 5 copies. You were right. I'm telling you, you never read anything like this before. I heard all of your type questions are in here. That's all.
So it's said all the time that relationships are work and marriages work, but the fact of the matter is, a lot of times we, as people, and I can even take a responsibility as men, are just not responsible for the fact that the day you say I do is the day the work starts. You know, that's what's really time to clock in and do what we're required to do. Oh, that's great. That's great. So when you actually exchange vows, exchange rings, and all that smooth stuff, that's when it's time to go to work. But sometimes that might get neglected. You know, we might not be willing to take on doing the work to maintain keeping the honeymoon phase alive. You know, and it eventually comes to a point where the man gets jaded and doesn't decide to check himself, see what's going on, what's falling off with him, or what's out of place, what needs to be put back in alignment. So instead of going to work on you, we go to work on replacing. Not cool. Wow.
I'm sorry, ladies. We are coming to the end of our day. We want to thank all of the wonderful gentlemen here on the panel and all of you that submitted questions.
Every person in here was either on the verge of stepping out the box, is dreaming up a dream.
Yes.
Whatever it is, remember this. There is a gestation period that has to happen before that dream, that goal, that passion, that business that you want to start, that book that you want to write. There is a time period that must pass for you to start seeing things happening. A lot of us are going to leave out here and say, I'm stepping out the box. And you will step out the box. But that reality is going to hit you. It's going to hit you hard. And you're going to question, do I really want to step out this box? But remember this. A Chinese bamboo tree takes 7 years before it breaks ground. 7 years. You might not see anything happening. And a lot of people look at that farmer that's growing that bamboo tree and say, man, you're wasting your time. But after 7 years, it takes 13 weeks to grow up more than 13 feet. So there's a time period that you need to set a foundation. There's a time period that a tree needs to set its roots and set it as deep as it can so that when the storms come, Devonna, when the storms come, you are standing firm. You are standing firm and nothing is going to shake you because you have a foundation. You have roots that are deep. So the time period that elapses before your dreams actually start happening, appreciate it. Hold on to that dream and keep moving. And you will get there. That's all I want to say. Step out the box. Step out the box.
Real fast, we did want to give the vendors and sponsors a quick opportunity just to say a word or two. So what I'll do is I'll call Lauren Adams, CEO and President of Destinations Reach Travel. And you can explain a little bit about your business and
Thank you. Good afternoon. Like my good girlfriend Erica said, I am the CEO as well as owner, CTA of Destinations Reach Travel Consulting and Services. I own a full-service travel consulting firm that sells travel anywhere in the world. We do specialize in special events such as destination weddings, vow renewals, family reunions, as well as group cruises. So please, my contact information is in the bags. If not, my website is very easy to remember, www.destinationsreach.net. So I would love to send you guys around the world on special vacations, and it's my passion. And I just want to say one thing, because I know there's many things that people want to say. Devonna, thank you. You're welcome. I just put in my 2 weeks for my government job just last Thursday. And just to piggyback what Rich just said, it does take a foundation for what you want to do and to build your business. I have been doing this for now 8 years, part-time. And when I graduated from Morgan, I graduated with an English degree and I was going to be a writer. And when I started writing for the paper, I'm just being honest, it wasn't making no bread, okay? And I knew that I wanted to make money. So then I got into the government. And then I got into IT, and I used my English background to be a technical writer. And it pays well. And when you, I'm just using for example, when you say you was making 80 grand, it's like, dang, that's me. You know, and I'm used to that check, but I'm not happy. And everything that you said up here, and I was like, you felt bonded, like I feel like that in my office. And though I was making that check, I'm unhappy. Like I have to walk out my office just to go outside to see natural lights, because I'm in like this satellite office, and people be like, but Lauren, you got a good job, and you know, you got that steady income. And I'm like, y'all have no idea. But I stepped out the box and I said to myself, just the week before, and it takes a support system. So if y'all got y'all good sister friends, or y'all husbands, or y'all fellas, whomever, keep them in your corner. And that was another thing that held me back. I didn't know if I quite had that support system, but it was my mother. And my mother would always tell me, Lauren, when you have that good job and things like that, but my mother lost her job 2 years ago. And she'd been working for the school system, Baltimore City school system, for over 30 years. And they laid my mother off. We were just furious. How would you do that? Why would you? It wasn't just my mother, it was a number of teachers that went through that. And it was like, as important as the education system is, why would you do that? There's so many people who dedicated their lives to educating our youth. So when I got that confirmation from my mother, baby, you can do this. That was it. So I thank you, and everything that I've learned today, I hope y'all do the same. It's gonna take time, y'all. It's gonna take strategy. And when I say contact Donna Boom, I'm sorry. Use your resources. You know, it's one thing to say you have a dream. I want to be a writer. I want to be an inspirational speaker or something like that, but you need a plan. Take that time, write your business plan, look at your finances realistically. If you're not in that position to just do it at that moment, just do it part-time. But don't give up on it. But it just may not be your time to just step out the box fully for everybody right now. But eventually you will. Eventually you will. So this was great, but yeah, www.destinationsreach.net, and I will be glad to serve all of you. Thank you.
Okay, now we're gonna have owner and CEO of Ryan's Closet, Tamara Lucas.
I knew I would be speaking. It's great to up here all day. But he said, I am a speaker, and I am a speaker. This year, I did step up the box to become a speaker. So I guess this is my second. So I am the CEO and founder of Ryan's Closet. My partner is Nabeg Angel Williams. And we specialize in kids' accessories, headbands, bow ties, bracelets, clips, pretty much anything, we will make it. Our website is www.ryanscloset.com, and it's inspired from my daughter. When I had her, she didn't have any hair. So I said, I can't send you outside looking like this. I'm sorry. So I started making things, and then it evolved into a business. So I'm stepping up the box and continuing on.
Isia. Isia is an author and so many other things.
First, I want to say thank you to Erica, who has been like a childhood friend of mine. We both started off at the same church, and it's really amazing to see just how far you've come. It's really inspirational. So I just want to say that to my girl, Erica. But my book, Letters for You, was inspired by my own life. Sometimes we talk about stepping out the box, but we don't always identify those things that make us go into the box. And as women, a lot of times when you have a history of abuse or things that happen to really create those insecurities within us, we begin to create our own boxes to hide it because we become afraid that the world is no longer a safe place. And so once we go into the boxes, then sometimes we can put locks on our boxes. And then once we put locks on our boxes, if somebody tries to unlock it, we become very angry because now you have threatened my safe place. And so my book is really about my journey of me allowing myself to take the lid off my box and come out and allow myself to be free. And I am free, and I use my story to go back and help others who are stuck in their box to come out and experience the freedom that life really has for them, because we are able to step out the box. And I just wanted to say really, really quickly, I went skydiving a little while ago. And when I went, I was just like, you know what? I am not gonna die with fruit on my tree. Anything that makes me afraid, I am going to face that fear because I lived in fear for so long. So if something makes me quench, I'm like, oh no, I gotta go deal with that. And so heights was something that for me that was like, oh, if I'm not on the ground, I am not in a safe place. So I decided, let's go up 13,000 feet in the air and let's jump out this plane. And so I did it. And the first time, I was just like, oh my gosh, please don't let me pee, please don't let me just go up. You know, because your stomach is doing all of these crazy things, and you know, like you're talking to the person who's on your back, you're like, you know what, let me just go back down, not today. And he's like, no, you're gonna jump totally, you know, it's like, so anyways, I said all that to say that apart from me of stepping out the box is not being afraid to take the lift. You have to be willing to go in the air and take the lift. You don't know what's down beneath you, but just enjoy the journey. Face your fears, step out the box, and just know that life has more for you that God has placed something inside of each and every one of you here and refuse to die, not allowing that thing to come outside of you. And so that's what my book is all about. It's about me refusing to die. When everything in life tried to kill me, I refuse to die. And so that's what Letters for You is. There's a letter for each and every one of you in here, and I hope that you all have been blessed. I have been blessed. Thank you all very much.
Here you are, okay. Leader Sophie Gregory.
Wow. It looks amazing. You guys are wonderful. First of all, I gotta say that I'm stepping off the box because I'm up here speaking. I'm like, quite nervous, actually. But happy Mother's Day to all the women here as well. My name is Hilton Gregory, and I own the Central Treasures. I specialize in women's accessories, necklaces, earrings, bracelets, watches, whatever. You know, I can be found on Facebook, Eddie Central Treasures, or Instagram. And that's about it.
Shauna Smith, CEO of Lil Bay. Lil Bay.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. It's been a pleasure. I know that the evening is wrapping up, but it's certainly been fun. I appreciate you guys allowing me to be a part. My name is Quashana Smith. I am the designer of Lobe Dangle. It's a haute couture leather accessory line. All the pieces that you see on my table are handcrafted by me. I am a designer by trade. I'm actually a graphic designer, and I am the young lady that's responsible for the flyer for Stepping Out the Box. I went up on Facebook. Just to be very brief, my line started about 1.5 years ago, and one of the things that helped it to start is the fact that I communicated something that was in my heart, a vision that I had, and a week later materials were put in my hands.
Amen.
So, I have no formal training in terms of what I'm doing. I feel like it's all the inspiration of the Lord. I pray, asking for ideas, and it's all Him. And I'm thankful to be using that way because He's a creator, and so I just reflect Him in my pieces. That's really all I have to say. Oh, in addition, all of my pieces come with a warranty and a certificate of authenticity in which I signed. So it's Mother's Day, ladies, tomorrow, so treat yourself if you're interested. I'll extend a 10% discount to anyone who's interested. Thank you.
Okay, well, my name, of course, is Erica, and you've already got a chance to know my loving husband, and so our company is called All Is Well Inspire, and as I mentioned in my speech, it is based off of our story, which is encountered with a homeless man named Angel, and we are just spreading what is inside of us to encourage people in creating products such as sweatshirts, t-shirts, water bottles, accessories. We actually have a line coming out into fitness wear, a new yoga line that should be appearing within the next couple of weeks. So we are a brand that spreads hope and optimism, but we also use 10% of our net proceeds to help fuel our gross proceeds to help fuel our nonprofit, which is called a Friends of the Homeless. And each month, on the second Saturday, we are feeding our homeless friends downtown in Baltimore City, as well as we would like to be able to expand this and reach other cities globally as well. I think my brother wants to place something in it.
So Step Out the Box is an extension of All Is Well. What we just did here today was simply encourage each other. And that spirit should not die. And that's what All Is Well does. You never know what somebody's going through. You never know what valley it might be in. but your words have the power to give them life. And that's what I choose. That's what my wife chooses. And every person that has bought a product of All Is Well is simply choosing to give either themselves life or somebody else's life. So remember that when you come across people, they might be smiling outside, because Lord knows for years I was smiling outside. I was smiling, but inside I was dying. Inside it was painful. Inside I just like the brother said, we are excited. So you go through those moments like, is it even worth living? Do I even want to be here? And of what stands in my way. It has not been easy by any means building this brand. We are still building. We haven't even eclipsed 10% of our potential. But it's something that I truly believe, the power of encouragement.
Yes.
The power of words. One of the things that we do that Brother Reggie actually do, we have part of our business model is collecting All Is Well stories. And he sent me a story yesterday about his personal story. See, we all have a story. His personal story empowered me. And that is what we do, is just simply empower people. So, All Is Well, check us out. New brand, new products coming out pretty soon. Support it as much as you can. Tell people about it. We have started a movement to change the world. All Is Well.
And last but not least, Reggie Grant.
Oh, you want me to? Oh, okay. I forgot I was actually, I've been there. This whole program has been amazing. But my daytime job, I do work in human resources for the federal government. I work for the Social Security Administration. And I do training and career development. Actually, stepping out of the box for me is public speaking. I train at work all the time. Every time I stand before people, I get nervous. I feel like I want to die. So I just joined Toastmasters with the encouragement of Bianca. She's already lined up a photo shoot for me, for the business, workshops, the whole 9 yards. So I'm really getting uncomfortable. But I do resume writing. It's www.rgresumewriting.com. I have a tremendous gift. I've helped so many people get jobs. I've helped people walk away from jobs to start their own thing. I can tailor anything that you need. I can sit down and talk to you one-on-one. We can email, we can chat, Facebook, it does not matter. But serve is ultimately within my heart. I do believe that God put us here to serve one another, and that's what I do. I'm not really about the money with the resume writing. It does come with the fee. It is nothing that will bang you over the head like, what they charge you online, because I really do care more about helping than actually getting paid. So rgresumewriting.com, contact me. I will be more than glad to help you or anybody that you know that needs that assistance.
Okay, some fun stuff. Well, as an appreciation of everyone who's been involved, first of all, we just want to say thank you to everyone actually who showed up today for supporting our dreams. And also, I want to tell you a little bit about, as I mentioned in my speech, as far as the financial management company that I'm currently in the process of starting. It's going to be called Kingdom Principles, The Blessed Life. As I mentioned, the blessed life is not just about financial. It's social, physical, mental, emotional, all that good stuff. So look out for that soon, as I will be working with Shauna to build my website and moving forward. But as I mentioned, appreciation, we just want to give all the male panelists as well as the speakers some certificates. For the panelists, it says Certificate of Appreciation. It says for sharing insightful, thank you for sharing insightful words of encouragement at the 2013 Step Out the Box Women's Conference. The Women of Step Out the Box organization, thank you for helping women to ignite their dreams, empower their passion, and prosper in their gifts. And this one goes to Michael. Well, this one is for one of the speakers. Again, a certificate of appreciation to Jamal Crosby. For this one, it says, in recognition for being an outstanding speaker at the 2013 Step Out the Box Women's Conference, the Women of Step Out the Box organization. Thank you for helping women to ignite their dreams, empower their passion, and prosper in their dreams. And another male panelist for Reginald Gantz. Thank you. And for this one goes to Lavana Petrie. Thank you for.
Sister girl.
And this one is for David Marcus, again for. And also we have gifts for the sponsors and vendors. We can hand those out a little later. But one thing I also want to mention, she doesn't know that we're doing this. Miss Nikisha, please get up here.
Yes.
You are absolutely an awesome person. I just love it. As she mentioned earlier, since the first day we brought the idea to her, she was totally on board. So we just want to let you know that we appreciate you for helping us out throughout the planning process. And as we look forward to many, 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 many more to come. So thank you all. Have a great day.
So that concludes Step Out the Box, Ignite, Empower, and Prosper. So go forward and step out. Thank you so much for coming.
Ladies and gentlemen, just want to today in the ladies' conference, Step Out of the Box. Just want to thank Bianca and her friends for inviting me. I'm so delighted to participate. We had good information and about women's that just was out of this world. Next year, 2014, Step Out of the Box.
Hi, my name is Tanika. I'm here today for the Women's Conference, learning to step out of my box. So far, there's been 2 speakers who are very powerful women, phenomenal speakers, and the rest. Thus far, I was very passionate. Miss Kelly did an awesome job. Can't wait for the next year's thing. So far, so good.
Actually shooting video.
They but were they here before? They were here before.
The 2 girls were, but then another girl came in and she said that she put her
Yeah, just check, just make
in my car.
because the thing is, there are people who are supposed to bring guests that are free, but if the name is not on the list, then we won't know.
Yeah.
Ready?